Hey guys, right here at 321 Airsoft YouTube channel, and today we're going to spotlight the CYMA line of M14s. Now, this is a brand of guns that we approve of. We like it. Out of the box, they are great stock guns. They hold up really well. The only thing that we don't like about them is that there's some issues with magazine compatibilities. Other than that, solid build, solid gearbox. Solid design. The bodies hold up pretty well. Even the plastic model that has the wood grain is pretty close to looking like real wood. So we're big fans of them, and we sell a lot of them. And at the price point that they are, they range from about $159 all the way up to close to $300 if you go to the EBR version. So let me just dig into it and talk about them a little bit. You start with like the Scout. This has just got a shorter barrel on it. Everything else, the hop up and the gearbox are exactly the same. So when you're buying the CYMA line, you're buying the same gun internally. You're just getting different furniture and lengths out of them. So pretty solid, pretty heavy, and they shoot well. You know, you might want to work with the hop ups a little bit on them. Tune the hop up in, get a little more accuracy out of it. Barrel compatibility is kind of an issue. If you can find a M14 barrel. Paul, can you confirm whether these use like a regular barrel or is this an M14 cut?
Pretty sure they're M14 cut.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, you have to use a M14 cut barrel, which has the different slots in it for the lock nut on the hop-up assembly. But if you can find a barrel for them, upgrade the barrel, upgrade the hop-up bucking, tune that in just a little bit, and you've got a pretty good gun. Run them on a 9.6. The 8.4 volt batteries that they come with are marginal at best. It's not a very good battery. It's not a high amp output battery, and they're paired up with a wall charger. Again, take the wall charger, throw it in the garbage, get yourself a smart charger, save yourself a headache. You go from the Scout to the full-length version. And we have them in black. They come in a black, they come in a green, and they come in a wood grain. And then they have the EBR version, which I'll show you in a minute. But working charging handles on them, they do nothing. It's just there for looks. It sounds good, but people let this snap back, and when they do that, they shear off the front end where the spring is, and then it doesn't work, and you have to replace that. So once you get this, don't monkey with it. They're also pretty delicate. There's a thin piece of metal that runs alongside the gearbox assembly right here that can crack. And once that cracks off, this channel comes off, and you end up losing parts. So they look good, but they're not fully functional like a real M14, so don't slam these things hard. That's one of the drawbacks to it. Other than that, the whole body, solid frame, everything holds up pretty well. Selector is kind of funky on the M14. It's that little switch on the side that you turn. Here's another Scout version in the wood. You can see the wood grain on the plastic is actually close. We actually had a wood one in here one day, and believe it or not, most of the customers thought that the plastic one was real wood. And the other one was plastic because it was shiny, and but it was vice versa. This is actually the plastic one that looks like real wood. They're not creaky. They don't have like that sort of old Tokyo Marui creak to them where they need to move them around. What you're hearing is this bang around on there. Hop-up is underneath. If you're familiar with the M14, you adjust it down here, just like the Tokyo Marui version. This is not like the G&G Classic Army or the what is the GMP version. So it's very much a one-to-one clone of the Tokyo Marui. So if you're familiar with the Tokyo Marui M14, the CYMA one is a pretty good copy of it, and at the price difference is significant. So if you want a decent M14, you're looking at about $150 for a starter. Again, bone stock, they're great guns. If you're going to start modding them, if you're familiar with that, it's fine to do that. I mean, the gearbox shells will hold up, but you're going to have to do some work on the inside with them. The EBR is, this is not like the cart version. It's a lot cleaner. There's no sharp edges. This is milled really nice. This is their newest version of it. If you've noticed, it has kind of a buffer tube and a crane stock rather than that mod stock that the EBR has. So if you can get over this, it is wired to the back with a crane stock battery. If you can get over the differences here, this is actually a pretty good buy. You're under $300. You're in the mid $200 range for this EBR M14. It's solid. It's got a lot of real estate to mount accessories on, and it's built exactly the same internally as the other ones. It just has a vertical grip on it. Magazines, we have the Tokyo Marui magazine, we have the King Arms magazine. If you're not buying a CYMA magazine, which they have a mid-cap metal and then a high cap that's 400 rounds, if you're not buying one of these, you might want to check with your local shop first or people who use them to see which one of these is much more compatible. The way they're notched in the front and slightly different, there's a slight difference in the way that the release mechanism is. On the King Arms, sometimes they don't always feed. People have trouble with the King Arms ones, but people seem to have no problem with the Tokyo Marui magazine. The Tokyo Marui magazines are harder to find and they're more expensive. So if you want, just stick with the CYMA brand. You're going to pay kind of a premium for M14 mags. They're not as cheap as M4 mags. But if you're in the whole M14 world and you like that gun, there's the SOCOM version, or I'm sorry, like the Scout version. Is that what they, the SOCOM or Scout?
SOCOM.
It's a SOCOM. Yeah, the SOCOM version, which has the rail up front for optics. You can get mounts for the standard M14. It screws onto the side, but generally the long one doesn't come with a scope mount. But the EBR certainly does. It has all the room for all that stuff. If you're into the M14 world, look into a CYMA. They're actually pretty good guns. If you buy an Echo 1, what you're doing is you're paying for the name. Echo 1 essentially rebrands the CYMA brand M14, and there's a lot of people who are going to deny that, but when you open up the Echo 1, it's got the CM stamps on the gearboxes. It's actually the serial number for the CYMA is on there. So, you know, you're going to pay about $50 more for the Echo 1 version of it. So if you want to get a CYMA, but there are some good points to the Echo 1. They do offer a warranty. So, but if you're into modding and working on your own guns, pick up a CYMA. Pretty good guns for the M14s, and we like them. So if that helps you out, helps you make a decision on the M14s, good. That's great. Go out there, have fun, be safe. We'll see you in the next video.